Come on. Okay, got all three of them up. Sometimes they take a while. Okay, good evening everyone. I'm Shadows Pub, and this is Pimp Your Post Thursday, evening edition from the Ramble. And it looks like we've got a few people. Did not make that one with the shade, found it somewhere. Alright, so, Axeman, you are going to present first. Oh, you're on limited data. Are you done stuff? And Axeman says, many may know about famous Dubai dancing fountains show, and maybe even some saw them live. But here is a more special view from the observation deck of even more famous Burj Khalifa. The fountains do look like a flower of the city, adding a lot to overall pretty stunning view from the top. Actually, that is quite a view from the top. Where were you to take that shot? Yeah, you were, but like, was that shot from a drone, or, were you flying over the city? Observation deck of the Burj Khalifa, tallest building in the world. I was up on the CN Tower once. That was high enough. Very nice. Thank you, Axeman. That's the first deck? Yes, Mine Trap. People show their posts here. Usually what they do is they go into the queue, which reminds me, everybody, the giveaways are running. They go into the queue by dropping an emoji. And once I see the emoji, then I put you on the list to be able to take a turn, and you put your link in the text chat, and then the preferred way to do it is you come on voice and tell us about your post. But if you haven't got a mic like Axeman, then you can do it by text. Total height, 2,722 feet. There's what, 2,580 feet in a mile? If memory serves me correctly. Kitty Girl will correct that in a minute if I'm wrong. So that thing's over a mile high.
No.
5,280. See, I told you she'd correct me. Half a mile. Sheesh.
1 kilometre is 1.61. No, sorry, 1 mile is 1.61. So 800 and...
I wouldn't relate to kilometers at all. Just because I have to use them when I drive doesn't mean that it means anything to me. Thing's over half a mile high. The only reason I pay any attention to kilometers is I have to follow the speed limit, and the speed limit's set in kilometers. They have another project for an even higher one. My lord. If the oil price rises, oh well, we're good. A lot of things will happen if the oil price rises, I'm sure. So done stuff. You're up next. So, Done Stuff says, as some may know, I'm going through a bit of a struggle at the moment. Been homeless now for about 3 weeks. On the plus side, I've been putting up some half decent, for me, posts. Figured I'd start typing as my voice is splotchy. Oh, good stuff. Of course, you're doing it all for mobile, I assume. That's okay. Getting it up there, though, that's important.
Part of it's to relate what's going on, and also to sort of get it out of my head, so it's not just sitting there dripping away, dripping away.
Right.
Not really. No. On the plus side, it's summer over here, so even if I wasn't in accommodation at the moment, because I'm staying in a place, so I've got a phone call today. They've extended me till Tuesday, and then I go and view a place on Tuesday. I was supposed to go there Monday, and then no hassle, didn't hear back from him Tuesday, didn't hear back from him Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, didn't hear back from him, so it'll happen, it'll fix.
So, this isn't the first time for you to be homeless.
No, I back in 2000, I'm what, 30, do the math, 38 now. I've probably been homeless for about 18 of that, like on and off, not like full time.
So, a lot of it's just not a consistent job.
It started off with moving around a lot, and then, yeah, I don't know, just, I think I'm more comfortable that way. Hence, I said I was going to do a post about it.
Yeah, there's various states of homelessness, mind trap. The most common one, of course, is living in the streets themselves, but there are people that end up couch surfing or they just haven't got anywhere to go and have to go to temporary housing. That seems to be where you end up, isn't it, done stuff, and end up in temporary housing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in temporary at the moment. They're looking to put me into my own place. I, I think a lot of my thing is I don't really get along with people.
Okay. But once you're into a place, you really don't need to get along with people, do you?
Exactly.
Sarge says one must get along. Well, if you can avoid people, you don't have to do anything. And speaking of Sarge, he's up, and I know he's going to present on voice. Well, Snook has joined us. Oh, Sarge, got your link? There we go.
Well, hello, everyone. Good evening. Well, it's evening for me. I don't know what time it is for y'all. Well, done stuff. He's over there across the pond, so I know it's evening over there. But anyway, Shadows, thank you for hosting. And this morning, I presented a post about Steam Monsters, and I did another one. This is my latest fad on Steam is messing with Steam Monster stuff. I think Steam Leo is going to be the next thing with my ADHD personality. But anyway, about this post. This is post about Splinterland guilds, and they're sort of like, well, I don't know. Could I say they're like curation guilds? Kind of like. I don't know. But it's just a group of people that play Steam Monsters and they have different guilds and everything where you all group together, and anyone that plays the game knows that, you earn DEC, and I forget what that stands for, but that's their little token that you use in the game. And
I believe that's dark energy, isn't it?
yeah, dark energy crystals or something like that. But that's your little token, your little cryptocurrency that you use. And then if you get in a guild, you all get together and then you try to build up your guild hall and then you get to a certain level and you get all kind of perks and everything. But that's pretty much what this post is about. Uh, I just made that little picture. I like that picture. I found that picture and I kind of modified it a little bit. It's a little dark. I could have done better with that, but I was just doing a quickie. But that's the guild I belong to, Spirit Animals, and they're a real great group of people um, that help each other. We give each other cards and stuff, and help each other out, and help new people coming into the guild and new people coming into the game, and so just a little something I thought I'd throw out there. Total self-aggrandizement. So there you go. So have a look if you like, and if you like it, send all kinds of tokens, everything, Marlians and shade, and whatever you
So,
got.
why is Steam Leo going to be your next obsession?
Oh, you haven't seen? They have. How you have Steam Engine? You go into Steam Engine and you mess around with that.
Hmm.
Well, if you go to, oh, I forget the name of it. Maybe Kitty Girl knows. They have a sort of like a similar type of interface now called the Steam Leo Dex. What is
Right.
that? Decentralized exchange, and it is really, really cool. But there are some things that I still have to go back to Steam Engine because I don't know if it's because just certain tokens are listed on there, but you can't do everything with it like you can with Steam Engine. But it's really cool. It's got a little scroll thing across the top that shows your crypto prices and stock prices, and on the side they got oh, it's really neat. I
Oh, so
mean,
it's got some shiny objects for you to play with.
no, it's really neat. I mean, I think they're doing a really good job over there at Steam
They are.
Leo with
One
a
one of
lot
the
of stuff.
things that I like that Steam Leo is doing is they do what they call syndicating people that are writing on the topic but off the platform. So they'll create them an account. They'll pick up on their posts. They will uh, kind of well, they'll kind of do some commentary on them, and then they credit it to that particular account, and then they contact the person and say, hey, we're part of Steam Leo, and we're syndicating your content on the platform, and you can earn Steam on it. And what we syndicate, the Steam that's earned will be yours if you join the platform and claim your account. I think it's a pretty cool way to onboard people.
That's I read something about that a while back, and I'm glad they jumped on that. That'd be really neat for. I forget where I originally read that. That's been a while back. That's been a
They've
few
been
months ago. Somebody brought that up.
they've been doing that for a while. I've been watching it. True enough, Mindtrap. They also get the Leo tokens. I
I'll tell you,
I do
I don't
like
know.
I do like the concept because it's almost like proving to them that hey, here's something you can actually be earning on, and your words are doing it.
Well, it's really cool. I wonder if they. I'm a member of their Discord. I need to go over there and ask. I don't interact much in there because I don't know what the hell they're talking about half the time. All them damn big money investor type people. But I wonder. CoinGecko has an account on Steam. You knew
Hmm.
that, I'm sure. Shadows knows everything. I wonder if they talk with them about I mean, working with them and stuff. And I noticed their little, what do you call that?
Khaleesi is nobody's fool. We interviewed him one time on Curation Corner.
Oh no,
It was a
he's a
really
real fellow.
interesting interview.
Yeah, he's a real smart fellow. All them folks in there. I mean, that's why I say I can't interact in there because them people are geniuses. And poor old Star.
Poor old Sarge.
But you know, they They do a good job. But let me mention one more thing before you cut me off, because I know there's other people got to come up and stuff, and I don't want to hijack the show.
You
But
know I wouldn't let you anyways.
I know you just tell me shut the hell up, Sarge, for a change. But anyway, the Steam Leo, they have the steamleo.com. They got their own nitrous, what you call,
Mm-hmm.
webpage and everything. But I just read a post and I was going to share that next, and I might if there's time. But they're having a contest. Well, it's not even really a contest. It's just they want people to post on their website, stimleo.com, and you get a $5 USD, I guess equivalent in Steam, upvote if it's your first posting on steamleo.com. So that's some good info for everybody. It has to be, they say on there, it has to be good stuff. Don't just put a picture and do a Hagen thing. Oh, did I say that? Hagen might be listening. I'll be in trouble. Transistor, all them people, oh, burn, everybody go crazy. Anyway,
They've done a very good job of monitoring and moderating their tag. So
well,
if
that's what they
if you're
said.
gonna post junk, you're not gonna get anywhere on that interface.
No, but they said if you do a post like I think I've never done one using their interface. I do most stuff on Steam Peak. I love Steam Peak. I'm like kitty girl. I think it's the best thing since peanut butter. But I think I might make a post um, on there because I mean a $5 USD upvote. I mean that's nice. That's nice.
So Mindtrap, who's a curator on Steam Leo, we want to attract as many people as possible to use the Leo interface, but if you post shit, you'll definitely get flagged. So there you go. Can't get any more blunt than that.
Well, good job there, Mind Trap.
Maybe Mindtrap will decide to join the queue and share a post or two later on. The just so you're aware, Mindtrap, it doesn't have to be your post. It could be something you've curated and want to give more coverage to.
Yeah, so if you see my post there, Mind Trap, on the Splinterlands, if you want to get some of them investor peoples over there, you know.
Okay, done stuff before you run out of mobile and Sarge talks you right off the planet. It's your turn. Maybe he's not even with us. There we go.
Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I was just waiting. Maybe I was going to add to the end of that. Shut up, Sarge.
So, what do you got here this time?
When I was on my way out on Monday, I started writing a bit of a post while I was in transit on the way out there. But then I got out there, and he's like, "Oh no, I haven't been able to get in contact with the dude." And
Up, you get cut off there.
yeah, sorry, that's why I was texting as opposed to talking.
Yeah, hold the button down and tell us about your post.
Basically, I had to go and inspect the property on Monday. I was waiting because it's through housing, but it's there's so many different organisations that do that sort of thing. So the people that I went and spoke to have a place through another company, and so they were waiting on it to get cleaned for me to go and inspect it to then see whether I wanted to move into it or not.
Okay, so baby steps.
Yeah, getting there. I've been doing a lot of because there's another post I've been meaning to do, and it's about literacy and numeracy and how many people struggle with those sort of things. One of the guys here, I've been helping him, get his ducks in a row as well. And for me, as I was saying to one of the workers here, is for me, I wouldn't say my happiness depends on the people around me being happy, but if I can help somebody else and it doesn't take me very long, then that's, I feel like I've accomplished something for that day.
Right. That makes sense. So, I probably should, for the benefit of mind trap and remind everybody else at the same time. Uh, when people present at PYPT, they earn the shade token. And if you go to the posts that are presented and you leave a comment and you mention PYPT in that comment, you earn some more shade. So at any time, you can find the links that are presented at PYPT by visiting that forum link. So right now, as we're working our way down through the evening, I'm building a list over there, and at the end of the show, I'll hit post. Oh, it's up. It actually has a channel of its own, Sarge. It's called Post Links at Forum. It's just up above where we are right now. So at any time you can go and visit those posts. It doesn't have to be today. It can be tomorrow, the next day, and read them through, give them a little bit of support, leave a comment, and I will pick up the PYPT in my Genobot notices. All right, Snook, you're up. Well, Snook, don't go back to sleep. I don't see her typing yet. There she is. Yeah, we'll get you. We'll get you presenting yet there, Mind Trap. You just never know what's going on around this platform, do you? Snook, tell us what you're up to here. Can't talk right now. I wrote a bit. Oh, okay, wait a minute. This is a new post from In the Now. He has become a wonderful storyteller. I urge you to read some of his stories that he's been writing. So, is he still managing to do every day? I've seen you have been posting. Yeah, you're bound to miss a day or two here. And some great stories. I have no idea why you'd be busy at Mom's. Even better, you must have to go to bed at normal hours. Or do you stay up all night while she's sleeping? Yeah, that too. Curfew. Yes, you do have a curfew, apparently. You're at Mom's. Okay, done stuff. You're back. When do you go home, Snook? I'm betting she's counting the hours.
So there's a bedroom house. At the moment, there's only 3 of us. There were 4 until yesterday. And so I figured to myself, well, we need more than 5 sets of cutlery. So I decided to go down to the local op shop and get some extra cutlery, which cost me like $3 for 5 sets. And I thought, while I'm here, because I was wearing, what are they called? The over the top of your foot, like, what are they? Flip flops, but
You're cutting out.
without the toe bit over the foot. And I seen those, and I thought, oh.
Uh-oh. He may have lost his mobile. You're dropped. I can't hear you. He's typing, went to help the house, found those shoes. Okay. Well, adding pictures into your content is not a bad thing. Where's Injun? I see he's online, but I don't see him in here. All right. Thank you, Done Stuff. And Katrina, you made it.
I did. Am I already up? Obviously, that's not the good key for voice activation.
Ah, what were you using?
A little asterisk thing. Hang on.
Okay.
I use the tilde, the one to the left of one, because you never use that.
That's actually what I've got, but oh, I guess it's fine if I don't have my cursor in the typing place, because otherwise it just starts.
Oh, it just starts typing.
Yes, but that'll.
Okay, Mindtrap. Mindtrap, this is actually on twice on Thursdays. So it was on earlier today, which would have been 11 o'clock Eastern Time, which is, I have to think of the new time now, 4 p.m. UTC, so however that comes to you. So the earlier show might actually be better for you. Yeah, 3 a.m. Australia time.
Which is very early. Okay, I think I got this figured out, and I have pictures of my new.
You sorry, Katrina. It was, let's see, 7, it would have been 8 hours earlier. 11 and 7 in my time frame. So the two shows are 8 hours apart. Yeah, I
Maybe
thought
you
it
need a
might.
third show.
Yeah, don't even go there. Every Thursday has been for the last 2 years. Bring your friends. They're welcome. All right. Go ahead, Katrina.
Yeah, I just I got a new cat and I'm really excited, and so I made a post with some pictures. She's adorable. I'm just sort of distracted watching to make sure she doesn't get into any.
How old is she?
She's 5 months old. That's the one thing I didn't put in the.
So she's about the same age as Tramp. Sophie. Nice name.
Yes, no, Toby is not jealous of her. She realizes that. Sorry, he realizes that I got her for him. I'm just gonna go put her in another room because she seems to be a little bit like a troublemaker. She was over by my Mac cord, and I'm like,
Yeah, she's wanting to play.
yes, and they play really well together, which is great.
That's a win when you can bring a cat in with another cat and the two of them just accept each other.
It really is. It doesn't always happen that way. I I picked a good kitten, and Toby's super friendly to begin with. He used to cuddle with my other cat, so that's good.
I think this is the first time I've ever brought two cats together and not had any hissing or howling on either side.
Well, that's nice. I think it helps when they're young too.
Yeah. Although, when I brought Fanya in, he was 7 weeks old, and Dawn at first was having nothing to do with him, and she was only at that point about 8 months old.
Fair enough. They all have their opinions.
Oh yeah, no two ways about it. She looks like a cutie though, and I take it she's full of mischief.
She is, but she's also very sweet and gentle.
That's good. That looks like they're going to be a good pair. And the boys are not the least bit upset, I can see.
Yeah, it's funny. They're excited about her, but they're not nearly as excited as I am. They're like, oh, it's a new kitten. And then they go to school and they forget about it. And I'm like, how do you even forget? How does that?
Well, they're just not cat people.
Yeah, they're
Good.
Lego people.
Oh, well. Good to see you, done stuff. That's good. Gotta
Miss
love
yous already.
it. Take care. Look after yourself. Yeah, she's just loving you. You can see there. Give me all the attention he'll give me.
She's very happy.
Yep. And so's Katrina.
Definitely.
Tramp actually come up and slept on me a little bit last week. Although she's been letting on she doesn't know me today.
Oh, funny.
She's still got a lot of skittishness, and I'm normally, when I'm around the house, I'm wearing a t-shirt. So this morning I put a sweatshirt on to go out to the store, and I come back in and I walked over to pet her, and she took off. And I went, what's your problem? I went in and changed, come back out with the sweatshirt on. She was fine with me petting her. Or not with the sweatshirt on, with the t-shirt on.
She recognized you again.
Apparently.
That's funny. They're so cute.
Yeah, she's got some little quirks there that we're just going to have to work by.
That happens. I think we all have little quirks.
Yeah, we do.
Not me.
Okay.
Of
But
course not.
Snook spelt insubordination correctly. She did good.
I did.
Trust me to notice that, eh?
I laughed so much at that comment, it was funny.
I thought it might get a smile out of you. All right. Thank you, Katrina. Sarge, you're up. Snook is ready for the Ramble Spelling Bee.
This is the post I was talking about earlier. Thought I'd go ahead and share it. I don't get any brownie points from Mind Trap because he left, but but I was going to share it anyway. Yeah, so this is a post that talks about that. Where they're promoting their interface, their steamleo.com. So hey, it's worth it. And the kitty girl said she didn't know what she was going to post. She's got all them rare coins and different coins and stuff. That's an investment. I don't really think that's a stretch to talk about them on there as an investment. Talking about an investment, investing in rare coins and stuff. So yeah, so there's a post and all the info you need to get you $5. $5 and make you hollers with the price of Steve being what it is. So there you go.
Yeah, I think Axman said that he'd been putting his coin posts, he'd been using the Steam Leo tag, and he would notice if he got flagged down on it, so they're probably not bothering him.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure he'd notice it. You said old Bernie been giving him hell lately for something or another.
Well, he and I had a chat the other day, and I mentioned to him about maybe talking to Bernie in a civil manner and see if maybe he could get it sorted. And Bernie kind of blew him off, but it looks like the downvotes have stopped. So it may have, the very fact he didn't fight with him was probably good.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you talk to him, I mean, you know, I have a long-standing love-hate relationship with Bernie Sanders, and normally, if you just talk to him regular, you know, he'll calm down.
Yeah, him and Draco's are at war at the moment, so Bernie's being Bernie. All right. Thank you, Serge. And Kitty Girl, you're up. Okay. It's been a long time since I posted about some of the crystals and pretty rocks in my collection, so I decided to write about another one. Oh, your link hasn't come up yet. There we go. This is a quartz crystal with some other material included within it. There's one spot of golden brown that looks like fire burning, and the white wispy bits inside the crystal look like they're rising from that fire. Hence why I call it my Phoenix crystal. Quite a few of my crystals are unique, but this is probably one of the most unusual of them all. Kitty Girl's got herself a cold today, so um, she presented by text, which is unusual for her. Yeah, I had seen that on the list. That was very definitely a Draco's thing. You can't vote for him? Wow. I didn't think Draco's was that petty.
Well, I think before it said unvote him, but he removed that text.
What was that?
A few weeks ago, that page of his said unvote him as well, but I think he removed it. Just had dedicated asshole instead.
Wow.
I think this. I don't know where it started. I think it started with all that climate change stuff.
It
I
did.
mean, they went all crazy on Dracos and info wars and all kind of crazy shit going on.
Well, Draco's wanted to argue against climate change. He wouldn't be the first. But when you attack a 16-year-old, that was where people drew the line.
Well, I was back and forth on that. I had my nippy little nose in there, my funny little comments, because I called his original post low energy, using my great President Little Hands terminology. But yeah, but I think he made himself a little clearer later. The whole thing is just crazy, but you know, you can get some good curation rewards when you stick your nose in those little conversations.
Yeah, you could pick up some great flags too.
I
I think after that post, Bernie got people to unvote Dracos in his witness votes, and he dropped out of the top 20. That got him pretty angry.
lost my vote with that post. I was really disappointed.
Katrina, you're muffled. Could you say that?
Sorry. Is that any better?
Yeah, much better. Could you say that again?
Yeah, unfortunately, he lost my vote with that post. I've always had a high opinion of him, and when that came out, I stayed out of the drama. I just removed my vote and unfollowed him, and he saw it because he unfollowed me back. But um, it just seems like an unfortunate stance to take. But it's not me, and everybody's allowed their opinion, and it's a free speech blockchain.
Yep.
Well,
I
if
dropped
you
I dropped my witness vote off him as well, and he messaged me about it, and we had a conversation about it in which I was firm with him that I didn't care what he thought as far as climate change went. I don't agree with him, but I don't care on that point. I do care when you're attacking a 16-year-old girl. And he sort of took the attitude. First, he took the attitude that she was being manipulated, in which case I said, then attack her, the people that are manipulating her. And then he took the attitude of, well, if she's going to have things to say, then she should expect to be attacked. Well, no, she shouldn't. So we left it at that.
well, I didn't unvote him because I followed up and his post later, and he kind of calmed down his rhetoric with the uh, ultra conservative type of stance that he had on it, and kind of explained himself a little more on follow up posts. And I kind of looked at it because I was thinking about the same thing as removing my vote because I agree with Shadow's Pub. You don't attack a little girl, whether she has mental illness or not. It doesn't matter. You don't do that. She's just a little girl, But yeah, I looked at the follow up post that he made, and I decided not to pull my witness vote.
Asperger's has some challenges, but I would not call it a mental illness. And the odd part of it is that one of the aspects of Asperger's is that you will fixate on a subject and you become extremely knowledgeable on that subject because you're obsessed with it. And that's exactly what she's done with climate change. That's why she is as fluent on it as she is.
Well, I understand. My nephew, my younger brother's son, has Asperger's. Well, it might be a little more severe than Asperger's. If you've ever seen the movie Rain Man, that's that's what my nephew has. Although he's hugged me a couple of times, and he don't hug nobody. It's funny. He'll always come up and hug me, probably because I bring him tasty cakes from up here in Pennsylvania.
It's part of the spectrum, but it's an aspect of the spectrum. She actually strikes me as a very intelligent young lady. And whatever she's going to put her mind to, she's going to become very knowledgeable because of that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens down the road with it. She's certainly drawn some attention, best, good, bad, or indifferent.
Well, I hope she's all right, the little girl and everything, and the people that manipulate her and stuff. Like you said, that's who people should go after, not that little girl. I mean, and
I've read some articles that she has written, some material that she has written, and there's nothing being manipulated. If anything, she's pushed back on her parents trying to rein her in.
oh yeah, hey, and Katrina, hey, I'm a tree hugger from way back. I'm an old hippie, and even though I'm a military guy, I'm very big on the environment. I love my birds. I love my trees. I love my plants. I like them. They give me air.
All right, thank you. And Weeb, you're up. There he is.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening. Um, I'll just throw out there that my youngest has Asperger's or something very close to it, and he fixates on old video game consoles, and to the point that he can tell us about games and consoles that were made in the 80s, and he just knows them, soup to nuts, so to speak, and that's what he does. And that's what makes him really unique and special.
I actually think that that is um, a strength in some ways because you've got your attention drawn to so many places, and especially in this day and age with all the electronics, to be able to focus and actually learn something so thoroughly is actually a gift.
It is. I mean, a lot of these people that people consider to have mental illness with all these different things, they're a type of genius in a way. They're different. They're just, and I've always said it's because God don't share His glory with nobody. So if He gives you a whole lot on one thing, He's going to take away from another. Not to get overly religious.
Does anybody watch the series The Good Doctor? Am I the only
I
one watching that?
can't say I ever seen it. Is it on Netflix?
I couldn't tell you what station it's on. Um, it's actually is a series about a young man who is autistic who has become a surgeon. And it really depicts the challenges around dealing with somebody who is autistic and their personality issues. It's in its second or third season, I believe. Dunstuff's watched it.
Well, it is. There's a lot of people that are like that. I mean, they're like geniuses. I mean, they can do all kinds of things, but they in other areas like interaction with humans and stuff like that, they have troubles, but
Well,
they just can
this
do
show
so.
addresses all of that. It's a really a great depiction of it. The actor that plays it does a great job. But Weeb, I have derailed your presenting your post. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I got it started by talking about my son, and I don't really have much to say. It's my post. Go look at it. Um,
What's it about?
it's well, this combines a couple of my favorite things. Got to spend some time with my oldest son, and I could derail the conversation talking about him as well. He's a character in and of himself, but he's taking a photography class this year, and one of his recent assignments was to take pictures of impressionist landscapes. So he and I went out on Sunday to take some photos, and this was just everything that I like to do. I got to spend some time with him, got to be out in the woods, got to feel my feet crunching on leaves underground, and got to take some pictures. It was kind of a really awesome afternoon for me. And, we were in the woods. I couldn't really take pictures of the trees themselves. I really couldn't see the woods for the trees in this case. There are so many of them. So I focused on the ground, and I got some what I think are some really really nice pictures of leaves before they turn all brown, just lying on the ground, carpeting everything.
Yeah, there's quite an array under our feet when we take a look at it, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot down there.
Now that rotting stump was quite a subject choice.
I didn't even really think about that until someone else brought it up as well. I liked how the sun was coming down on it and nothing else.
The way the sun's hitting it though makes for some interesting effects on the post or on the post on the stump.
It was a neat looking stuff. I'll leave it at that.
That is for sure.
Well, good for you for being such a good dad. There's so many dads who don't spend time with their kids. That's really wonderful. I get mad at my nephew and nieces, and oh man, they've got their nose in a cell phone, and the kids are saying, "Mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy." And that's a wonderful thing. Kudos to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Weeb. So let's have a look. I see the giveaway channel has lit up there. What have we got drawn? Snook is here. Dunstuff's here. Contraburden is here, and all of you have won Steam Basic Income. Speaking of
Yeah,
which,
thank you.
Snook is up. Well, you've got time to get into the shade giveaway, Katrina. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, you have 2 minutes and 47 seconds to get into the shade giveaway.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Okay, I'm gonna use what I'm talking. And you should be able to hear.
Okay, we're listening.
Oh, okay. So, it's not really about the post. It's about the game, and at the bottom of the post, it tells about Team OCD for Gods Unchained, and um, they too are bringing people that are playing the game onto Steam, Steemit, and they're running contest tournaments on the weekends and giving away actually better prizes than the game is right now.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, like a lot better prizes. So Acidio, is that how you pronounce it? Ask for short? No. So,
Now.
no, well, I tease him because he's younger than my son. So, anyway, it's kind of a whatever. I don't call him that. But I really like it because it's a cross between Hearthstone, which is what I used to play, and it is actually what I was hoping Steam Monsters was going to be, but wasn't. So, but OCD is definitely backing it 100% in the people in the posts that are being written and trying to actually every day I think they bring at least two people to Steam and give them Steam accounts, and they're writing some really great posts. I mean, like really great posts,
You mean the
and they're
newbies?
getting them. Yeah. Other than they don't have pictures, you know.
Oh
But
well, they'll
we're
learn.
working on it. I'm slowly trying to work on that. But
Have you taught them the Snook
yeah.
Made Me Do It tag yet?
No, not yet. No, not yet. Because when there started to be more people in there was when I was trying. I ran out of pain meds and was having to get ready to come to mom's, and yeah.
So, like if you comment in passing that, you probably should choose a relevant picture to put on your post that isn't swiped from somewhere. And oh, by the way, did I mention that, there's this tag called Snook Made Me Do It that people use?
Yeah, I think it's been mentioned one or two times. But
I have no idea why. So, Katrina, I'll give you a fair warning. Do not get injured and stuck going on Gods Unchained, or you're going to be hooked.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I guess,
yeah, and it won't be stopped because it is that yeah.
Tender Shepherd, aka Aggro, needs to step up his game. Him and Clove and
Well,
those
it's
guys.
two totally different games. Engine wrote a really good post comparing the differences between Gods Unchained and Sea Monsters, and I mean, a really good post about the differences. And he was very fair in what he wrote about both games, the pros and cons to each item that he covered. And I mean, I think his post speaks for itself. But and I don't know how he plays this because his internet goes out, and he's lost matches like at the last minute because his internet just dies. And I don't know how he still has a computer in his hands because I know I wouldn't. But yeah, so
Yeah, I read that post. That is, if anybody hasn't seen that post and you have any interest at all in gaming and stuff, that is an outstanding post. I even commented that he might want to think about editing the post and adding Steam Leo to one of his tags because it's just good. It talks about investment and like you said, all kind of stuff in there. It's good.
So, Snook and Katrina, guess who won the shade?
oh, thank you for the
Yay!
shade. Um, I over last weekend while I was trying to get ready, I played more than 127 games. I would
Katrina,
play until
go ahead.
my pain. I would play until my pain level went down, and then I would go do what I had to do, and then I would go back and play until my pain level went down, and then yeah.
So, Katrina, as you're probably aware, there's multiple tribes on the Steam engine. Steam Leo is one that is about investing, money investing, that sort of thing. Banjo says, sorry it took so long. I was eating dinner.
What's even creepier is that Banjo just wrote what I was about to type.
Apparently, Banjo's reading your mind on stuff. Be careful.
I've been looking at that since the Asperger's / post.
Ah.
The underground stuff. That was what was it? I can't remember what tree it was, but I liked the fact that part of it was turning and turning and turning, like they were all on the same.
Kitty Girl says there are fluorescent fairy sparkles in one of Weeb's photos.
Little did they know he was playing with the fairies.
Hobo, get your paws off the keyboard. Thank you very much.
If you zoom in, you might find it's actually a fairy city.
You just never know.
That would be so cool.
And Katrina, you're up.
I actually had to put the kitten in another room because she was getting into too much trouble. So I understand the paws off the keyboard.
My biggest problem with Hobo on the keyboard, other than the fact that she's just as liable to start talking, and nobody will understand it, is that she has a tendency to hit the one function key that puts me in airplane mode, which of course cuts off the internet. And if she doesn't hit that one, she hits the power button. So either way, I'm euchred.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah. So, tell us about your post.
So, a couple of weekends ago, I was at a writers' conference, and this is my second post about that. Just some takeaways that I got from the workshops that were a part of the conference. And this is about a plotting technique that is basically just writing a paragraph for each chapter about what it's going to be. So it's a way to plot a story that's not too crazy organized, because if it gets too crazy organized, I'm out. It's too much. But it gives me an idea of where I'm going, and is this a story I want to write? Let me think it through a little bit before I get 20, 30, 40,000 words into it and decide I want to change something that I have built the whole story on. So yeah, I'm finding it helpful, and the presenters that I got this particular, I mean, I'm sure lots of people use this, but it was Delilah Dawson and Kevin Hearn, and they are absolutely hilarious. They're A-plus writers, but they're also A-plus entertainers. And they did this, taking audience ideas and doing up a book, an outline like this. And they didn't get through all of the chapters, but there was a lot of laughter because they're like, okay, what kind of story do we want to write? And somebody said gothic fantasy. And then it turned sideways immediately when they said, okay, where do we want it to be set? And somebody said a strip mall. And it was just downhill from there.
Gothic fantasy in a strip mall.
How does that work?
So where did it go from there?
Well, so they said, okay, what is our main character? Are they male, female, non-binary? And they were non-binary. And then being a shapeshifter fae octopus.
Oh my.
Right? And the two other characters were a puppet who had the soul of a lawyer trapped in.
Yeah, that would make quite a fantasy.
Yeah, and the whole conflict was built around some developers wanted to take down the strip mall in order to get to a portal that was beneath it, and the characters who lived in the abandoned strip, it wasn't just a strip mall, it was an abandoned strip mall. Anyway, they needed to stop the developers from tearing down the strip mall because that was their home. So anyway, it was entertaining.
It sounds like it. I take it you're not writing that book.
Oh no.
So I take it that you found this conference very helpful?
It was helpful. It was helpful in a lot of ways. But what I really aimed to get out of it was hope that it. I'm on my 10th manuscript now, and I've sort of been stuck on it for a while, and I'm not forcing it. I'm, adopting a kitten and taking time and allowing myself to binge Netflix, and I'll get back to it when I need to. But I was sort of looking for hope that this whole thing isn't pointless. That not me writing, because I'll always write, but actually trying to land a traditional publishing deal. A lot of it's about perseverance, a lot of it's about craft. But I had reached a point where I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep going, and it helped me to come to more of a place of having some confidence in myself and my writing, and not worrying about it so much. I guess I was already there, but being determined to continue and to keep going.
So I'm curious why it's important to be a traditional publishing deal as opposed to self-publishing, which you have some experience doing.
I do have some experience in self-publishing, and I'm not opposed to going that route again. I Traditional publishing just has a far greater reach and tends to pay actual money for it. Self-publishing is wonderful, but making money with self-publishing is extremely difficult, especially if you don't have money to throw into marketing.
Yeah, you have to do marketing.
Yeah, and doing it all yourself is challenging and very easy to burn out. And you don't have the same connections, and you can't even get your books in the same places as they might if it's a traditional publishing deal. At the same time, some people get a traditional publishing deal, still get very little help with marketing, and their books aren't on the shelves necessarily. There are some publishers I'd like to go with, and some others that I won't even consider. So it does depend. I want to give it a bit more of a go before I give up and decide to self-publish, because once I've self-published a manuscript, it's no longer in the game as far as if I eventually get a traditional publishing deal. If I have a bunch of manuscripts that are publishable, then maybe they want to publish those too.
There have been some situations where people have self-published, been able to market enough, and that's been the key, I think. The book has shown some popularity, and a traditional publisher has come along and republished it under their moniker. But those are few and far between.
They are, and I have seen that you really have to have a lot of sales for that to be even a consideration. And at that point, it's like, well, you've already been successful as a self-published author, which is great. But I'll take any of the above. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name. There was one particular one, and she had already done something like $500,000 in sales, and a traditional publisher come along and said, we'll give you this deal, and apparently they gave her a hell of a good deal. I think she got the other $500,000.
That's awesome. I like hearing success stories. The wonderful thing about writing and publishing is it's not a it's not a competition. It's not like, oh, somebody else succeeded, therefore I can't.
No,
it's where
no.
everybody who writes is a reader. So the more success stories I see, the more hopeful that makes me that I could also be one of those.
I've seen in some of the groups that I'm in, I've seen some conversations about people that are doing self-publishing. But it seems to be that the ones that are getting some success, they're not only got a marketing method, but they're doing repeated releases. They don't get success on one book or two books or even three books. They need to be doing 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Wow. Yeah, and in a series or just that they have a whole bunch of books, a whole backlist.
They need to be released close enough together that people have familiarity with you, but far enough apart that it's not like you're just dumping on the market.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And building an email list seems to be key to all of it.
Yeah, for sure. Having a platform that is already interested in what you are writing and then continuing to provide them with more writing.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be the important thing is to build your list in anything that you're doing. Because email does work.
Yes, it does.
Like it or lump it.
Or not. But either way. Yes.
Good stuff. Great to see.
Thank you. I'm gonna hop off and go make dinner for myself and my little ones, but it was great to be here, and I'll keep an eye on everybody else's posts.
Good plan. Thanks, Katrina. And Kitty Girl, you're up. And I have to remind myself Kitty Girl's presenting by text. Ren of the Cross Country Travelers team makes photos of barns for me, sometimes when she and Scott are traveling. These are the latest photos she sent me, along with photo processing technique applied to them. She has found some cool things, including a fabulous sawmill kiln. I wanted to share this because Ren did such a good job with making the photos. And half the proceeds of the post is going to Ren. There's some nice shots there. Up the fallen down barn. Good stuff. Yeah, but it does make for interesting photos. It's kind of the good news and the bad news thing. Hunter Borden, are you still with us?
I'm still here.
I'm betting that you got a poster too.
I don't have any posts that aren't my own.
Pardon?
I haven't got anything to share besides my own.
Well, that's okay.
Are you sure?
Of course.
That's why they call it Pimp Your Post, with the emphasis on your post.
Oh, I didn't know that's what it really meant.
Yeah, you have your option. You can post for others or you can post your own.
Here's my post. Yesterday, I thought, hang on, let's make Siri a bit more useful. And there's this app on the iPhone called the Shortcuts app. It's quite powerful. You can get it to do any number of actions in a sequence of actions. So what I made it do was respond with what's my voting power on Steam. So I just ask, hey Siri, what's my voting power? And it returns me with the percentage.
That's how you use shortcuts.
Yes, that's one. That's one application. Probably so many more things I could think of, but that was just one quick and dirty thing that I did yesterday.
So, how do you like using the Apple Watch?
That's good. I feel naked without it.
Really?
Yeah.
I always think of such a small space that it would be difficult not to be overlapping onto the other icons when you're trying to do something.
It's useful for like just quick browsing notifications. Like if you get a text message or something and you drive, you can just have a quick glance at your watch.
So I take it you wouldn't want to try to write a post for Steam on it.
No.
I actually had to laugh. I was watching some of the stream recordings from Steamfest this afternoon, and at one point they were trying to get a hold of Howell from the SteamPress plugin because Frederica had sent a video presentation for his part, and then Howell was supposed to come on, and he was a no-show. So Roland P says, I will phone him. So a little while later, he comes back up to the front and he says, I got to do screen share. He says, can we do screen share? And he's working off of his watch. And he gets the screen share up and he says, here's my text with Howell. And it shows him going, OMFG, I didn't wake up. That was... He did eventually make it, and he did eventually do his presentation, but I thought it was funny that here's Roland using his watch to screen share to the big screen, and then up come the text.
That's awkward.
Needless to say, it got a little bit of a laugh.
Well, I'm interested to hear more ideas of what other commands I could add to my watch that could be useful.
I'll bet. You don't
Except for
actually... Pardon?
Except for downvoting on command.
Yeah. I don't think you're really into the downvoting, are you?
No, because I don't want to get flagged myself.
So I take it you don't use that when you're driving. Although if you're using Siri...
That's good, and I made another command where I could say, display me the voting power for Shadow's Pub, for example. But the problem is Siri recognizes that as two words. So when it does the look up for voting power, it can't find it.
Ah.
So I need to find a way to kind of remove all the spaces and just have it as one word.
Yeah, because it's not like you can actually...
So she's not really that smart yet.
Yeah. Yeah, the voice commands doesn't work real well on compound words, does it?
No.
It'll come.
Hey Siri, write me a post that pays me $10.
Yeah, good luck on that. Although AI is advancing to the point. On an unrelated thought, there was a thing that came up on the stream today that was something new that I hadn't seen before. I know some people in here use the Steam at World map by putting the GPS coordinates into posts they've done. So they're coming out with a new app. It's called Have You Been Here? And apparently it's for, when you're traveling and you can almost like an ActiFit type thing, only you're traveling. So they did a presentation today. So there's the website that you can go and have a look at it. It looked kind of interesting. I'm not a traveler, but the concept is interesting in that you're be able to talk about where you've been and what you're doing and earn some steam while you're doing it and while you're doing it. And I also saw them presenting SMT's Creations, the initial version of the wizard that they're creating for people that are doing their own SMTs. So, if you've got some time to sit and watch that feed, you'll pick up some interesting information off of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of stuff ends up being announced there. They competing with Steam at World Map, collaborating. No, the people that developed the Steam at World Map are developing this. They're the same people, kitty girl. That's the reason that I mentioned the Steam at World Map, so you could put it into context. So, has anybody got anything else they'd like to present tonight? Weep's going to chase some children to bed. Lucky him. Okay. Looks like we'll wrap for tonight. You've been listening to Shadow's Pub host, Pimp Your Post Thursday, evening edition from the Ramble. Until next time, it's all about community. And yep, bye Wilma.
See ya.
See ya.